All right, Unknown here, back with guide number 5. So today we're going to be going over buying a plot of land, building your house, getting everything set up. So to build a house, you need to buy a plot of land. It's going to cost you 2,000 gold, which you can see here. I grabbed some gold out of the bank. You're going to need to buy the plot for 2,000 and then build your own house. For building your own house, you're going to need a horse. Go to your crafting menu, blueprints, carts. There's two different carts here. There's hand carts, which you carry while you're on foot, and wagons, which you carry while on horseback. So you're going to need to build a wagon because you're going to need a lot of stone and a lot of wood to bring back to your plot to build your house. So what we'll do first is look on the map and see what area you want to buy your plot. Go to that area, find an open plot. The ones with the helmet icon in them are other players already own those. So the ones that are blank like this in your top right corner minimap that are just gray squares, those you can build in. So when you walk into the plot and past these ropes, you're going to notice that on the bottom right hand side down here, a little house icon pops up. It won't pop up until you get inside the plot. But if you click that house icon, it's going to say, do you want to claim this area? The claiming fee for the land parcel is 2,000 gold. If later you abandon your claim, you'll lose everything you've built in it, so think carefully before confirming. So we had 2,000 gold in our inventory. It's got to be in your inventory. You can't be in the bank. So when we hit yes, it now comes up to this screen. Claim management screen. Upkeep and manage. So upkeep, every 7 days, you're going to have to deposit 2,000 gold to keep your house. Weekly maintenance for this land parcel is 2,000 gold. Failure to pay the maintenance when due will make you lose this land parcel and all items within. So make sure you're logging in at least every week to make sure that this is up, kept up. You can deposit up to a month's worth of gold in here, so 8,000 gold, and every week it'll auto renew. And then manage, you can actually add people to your plot. So if you're playing with friends, you can add friend. They actually have to be near you. You can't just type in their name, but you can click add friend. Your cursor will have a little plus symbol on it, and when you click on your friend's character, it'll actually give him rights to use your land and the crafting stations and stuff. You can also allow individual players to use just certain things. So if you have a chest with all your valuables in it in your house, you can make sure nobody can use those except for you. Also, when you make your second character, because there's two character slots, your second character can use your house as well and all the crafting stations and have access to everything in it. So we now own this plot of land, right? Um, to build on it, you're going to have to click your crafting menu and go to your blueprints. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to build the house itself. So it gives you options for all the different houses. You have just a rustic 2x2, which is the smallest house possible. You have one with a porch as well. Don't do the porches. There's no use to them. It just makes them look different. Um, the 3x3, the 3x5, the 4x4 in an L shape with a patio, the 5x4, and the 5x5. Um, I would go smaller, possibly like the 3x3, the 2x2, depending on what you're trying to do. So some of the crafting stations have to be placed inside of your house, and a lot of them can be placed outside. But there's going to be some very specific things that you're going to want to put for sure in your house or on your parcel. The smeltery is for sure needs to go. This cannot go inside of your house. It has to go on your land, outside the house. So just keep in mind that this smeltery is going to take up some building space outside. The other thing, it's pretty small, but the other thing that you have to put outside is the charcoal pile, and this is extremely useful. If you don't build a charcoal pile, you're going to have to go run with a horse and buggy to a charcoal pit on the map. And just like collecting stone and the large logs, you're going to have to do that with charcoal. And it's pretty time consuming when you could make a charcoal pile, go chop down the trees around your house, put the trees into the charcoal pile, let it burn for 8 hours, and you will have a ton of charcoal that will be at your disposal. A lot of these, some of these, even like stuff like the Wizard's Bench, I believe, you can put outside. But there's some stuff that have to be outside. Some like tanning tub. Tanning tub has to be outside. It cannot be placed inside of a building. It says it can be placed inside of a tailor building, but that's for like the cities, right? The cities themselves at the guild zone, they have a particular tanning building, and these can be placed inside of those, but not inside of your house. So just keep that in mind. So keep your house kind of small because there's a lot of stuff that has to go inside, but I wouldn't go too small because like the forge has to be inside of your house, and it's huge. It takes up a lot of real estate inside of your home. So if you go with a rustic 2x2, just know that the only things you're really going to fit inside after you put your, because you're definitely going to want the forge. Once you put your forge inside, it's going to take up half of your house, which means other things inside are going to be limited as far as space. The distillery and the aspect extractor can go on the land. They don't have to be inside. So same thing with our imbuing table, can be outside or in a building. So just keep that in mind. I might do the 3x3. So I've done the 4x4 before. This one takes up so much real estate for the house itself that you don't have a lot of room outside. I had enough room for one tanning tub, one charcoal pile, one smeltery, and that was it. So depending on the size of your parcel, will depend on what size home you can fit on it. I think most of the parcels in the game are 4x4, so you could fit a 4x4 house with a patio. You could do a 3x3 or the 2x2s. So there are some parcels, I believe, inside of cities, the guild-owned cities, that you can get that are 5x5 plots. But I don't think any of them, I'm not 100% on this, but I don't think any of them out in the world that you could just willy-nilly build on are 5x5 plots. So I think the 5x5 plots are all inside the cities. So you're not going to be able to do like a 3x5, which would be my preferred plot, because it gives you enough room to do 2 charcoal piles, one on each side, plus 1 smeltery behind it. So 2 smelteries and 2 charcoals plus some room in the middle. So what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to go with the 3x3, which should still give me enough room on my plot, plus the room inside that I want. So actually, so I'm going to change this. I'm looking at the parcel now, and I can see the outside space. And looking at this outside space, I should have enough room with the 3x3 house. The 2x2 is fine. Just know that once you put the forgery in, that it's going to take up half of your house. I'm going to take a look at this. I think the 3x3 is going to be fine. If I move it up like this, I've got enough room on the right side, you see there, for 2 charcoal piles. I think I'm going to go 2 charcoal piles, 1 smelter to make my ingots, and then I'll have some chests outside for storage and stuff as well as inside. So we're going to do it like this. It says right click to place. And you're going to see it's going to pop up with a blue foundation. So the first thing you have to do is the foundation. But you're going to go build yourself a buggy. You're going to go run up to any stone area. You can also get the stones from just around, and you are going to bring back a whole cart full of stones and pick them up and put them and click. So what I'll do is I'll go do that now, and we'll see how that goes. So let's go find a little spot with a bunch of trees. I think we're gonna need some cloth as well, some linen, so that we can. So here's a good little spot with 4 trees, which will be enough to build our cart. Now we need to go find 8 plant fiber so we can turn it into linen weave and finish this off. Alright, as you can see, we got our 8 plant fiber. So we'll just go into crafting, we'll make all 8 linen weave. We'll finish our cart off. Once we got our cart, we can go up to any of the large sections of stone, break them up, put them in the cart, bring it back, and complete our foundation build on the plot. Alright, we're back at the plot with a cart full of stone, so we're just going to click the stone, click on the pillars, and start adding them in. We'll move on to the next section of the building. We're finishing up the last little bit on the foundation. Got some stone left over to put for the walls and stuff. Alright, now that the foundation is done, you can see this is going to be kind of our doorway, but then we have all the walls, right? So you can see the foundation walls are done. Now we got to do the floor, which is going to be 2 stone blocks and 8 wood logs. Alright, we got our floor built now. So now we got to do the pillars, which is a lot more wood logs. Okay, we've got the house built completely, and we've got a layout for all of our stuff. Just so you know, when you go into your blueprints and you pick something to build, let's just say like a wooden chest, and we go to place it down, uh, if it's red, you can't place it. If it's blue, you can. You can also press Q and rotate this around. So that way, sometimes like things may not fit, but if you press Q, kind of like this, like you can't put this here, but if you press Q, you can put it there. So we've got pretty much everything laid out. Unfortunate thing about having a 2x2 house is the crafting stations that you have to put inside of a house. You can't fit everything in a 2x2. First of all, this is unusable space, so this little square here. And like if we go here, you see this, this square, there's 2 squares on each side. There's 4 squares. Can't build anything here because of the door, so you're wasting a lot of space. But you can fit. You have to put the forge in your house. That's a must-have in your home. It is large. It actually takes up pretty much 2 squares. It takes up this for the forge itself, and then there's like the little forge bench or whatever here. So it takes up 2 full squares. You can put a chest here. This right here is a chest. So if I delete it, you can see there's that open space here. But this part is for the forge itself. But you can put a chest kind of tucked in there. And right click, it'll set it down, and then you can build it. You can see I built 2 chests here. So I fit in the woodworking table and the tailor bench. And these are pretty cheap to build. So 8 logs, 4 animal bones, and 2 rope to build this. If I wanted to, I could use whatever, and if I decide to make bows, I can just delete, say the tailoring bench, create the woodworking bench, and then, or whatever I need to create to craft here, craft that here, use it, and then delete it, and keep kind of moving stuff around if I need to. But as you can see, you can fit a lot of stuff outside. Charcoal pits, you're going to want at least one. At the beginning of the video, I had started to build a 3x3 house, which actually the house itself comes out to like this post and this post here. So it comes all the way out to this corner. And after I completed some of it, I realized that you could not fit a charcoal pit at all, not even one in there. I think the developers should change that to where you could fit at least one charcoal pit, at least like right here in the corner, because this is almost a necessity unless you're going to go collect charcoal with your horse and buggy from the charcoal areas. You can see here I've got a woodworking station, I've got the fleshing pole, I've got a smeltery. So the smeltery, I like to put them close to my charcoal pits because the charcoal is just like wood and stone. You pick them up one by one, and you have to put them in the. You can store them inside the smeltery. You really only need one tanning bed. This thing, it's pretty quick to tan hide, so you really only need one. The extractor and distillery, these two both require metal cheats and components to be able to craft these to finish building them, which is why it is a necessity for you to have a forge. You have to build the forge to be able to get the metal components that you need to finish crafting these. Everything else is wood and stone and rope and stuff like that. So all in all, I'll have a chest over here that will hold like leathers and stuff for the tanning area. I have a chest here that will hold. I have a chest here that will hold stuff for the wood working area. This is an imbuing table, so a lot of my reagents and stuff like that will go into like these two and this one, and just stuff that I need for the extractor, distillery, and imbuing table. So this is kind of how I have it set up. You can do yours kind of however you want. I like to try to keep things like chests near things that I'll do. I like to try to keep my charcoal pits near my smelteries so that it's not a long walk back and forth to pick up charcoal and put it in. The only thing I don't have that you would probably want would be the fireplace. So the fireplace will allow you to cook at it, and it'll also allow you to regen your energy and reset your talent and ability presets. So yeah, so that's the guide on how to build. It takes a little while. The house itself, if you just do a 2x2, it took me about an hour to get all the materials to finish the house itself, and then it'll probably be another 2 hours or so to kind of build all this stuff out, to go collect all the logs, stone, stuff like that. The only thing that I won't be able to do for probably a couple of days is going to be the metal components, because for the metal components you have to have either charcoal or coal. That these charcoal pits take 8 hours to make into charcoal, and then it takes like another few hours to melt your ore into ingots so that you can put in your forge to make metal plates and metal components. The last thing to tell you about that, the other reason why charcoal pits are one of the most important things to put on your plot is this is how you get the wood treating oil to be able to make your higher end wood stuff. So if we go into crafting, if we go into our crafting and take a look at something like the upgraded bows, to be able to craft these and to be able to craft some of the handles that you need for the two-handed weapons like the axe and warhammer, you're going to need wood treating oil. And the charcoal pits, they give off charcoal, and they give off the component you need for wood treating oil. And all you do is take the wood treating oil component out of here, go to any place where you can cook, and you cook it down into wood treating oil, and then that will allow you to make the tier 2 components, wood components. So hope you guys enjoyed, hope you learned something. This should make it a little bit easier. I will highly recommend that you either make a 2x2 house, because the plots are like 4x4. So you either make a 2x2 house and you just jam it packed with stuff like this, and you won't be able to fit everything inside, or you create the 4x4 L house. This will allow you to put pretty much everything inside the house, but then your outdoor space is limited. Some of these things can, like the distillery and all that, and the extractor, can go inside. So same thing with the wood refiner, that can go inside. For sure, the smelter and the charcoal pits and the tanning bed cannot go inside. And if you do the 4x4, it comes out this way and then comes down. So all you have to work with outside space is this one little square, and it is just enough space to do one charcoal pit, one smelter, and one tanner, and you won't be able to fit anything else outside. But a lot of this stuff can move inside, so it'll still work, but you can kind of do it how you want. So appreciate it. Thanks for all the positive feedback on the other 3 or 4 videos. I've actually got 4 videos up now. I just uploaded one yesterday that is more in-depth on abilities and armors and weapons and kind of how all the restrictions work. So go back and watch that one if you need help with that. We go over like a little bit of theory crafting on how to mix and match builds and stuff, where you can run sword and axe at the same time or whatever. But thanks for all the positive feedback. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment below. It all helps get these videos out there. I know there's still not a lot of newbie guides out there. A lot of the videos on Fractured right now are either PvP battles or people showing off their builds, being able to solo, but they're not going over this kind of stuff. So if you want these, keep coming. Like and subscribe, keep up the engagement, and I'll see y'all on the next one.